Alright guys, welcome along then to Slydog Racing League Tier 1. Basically we'll be wrong 9s and 10 altogether for Russia and Japan today. So should be quite interesting. As usual, we're going to get straight into our one-shot qualifying and then into the 25% race for Russia. And it's going to be a reverse top 10 grid for the start of Japan. So it should be quite interesting. I think everyone is currently selecting their setups and then they should get started with their one-shot qualifying and then we get straight into the race. So let's give him a chance and let's see who's actually going to be starting on pole today. We seems to have 16 drivers, so I think that's quite a good number to have a pretty good race here today. Let's see, who shall we follow today? I think we're on B Wheeler. We're going to switch, just keep it on him for today. Make sure they do a different driver for every race and let's see what kind of lap times they're going to be putting in. Hopefully they don't invalidate the lap time. Probably can put a few stats on as well. So we will know if they do invalidate the track or not. James seems to be running in first at the moment with Chris behind and Darren. That's kind of going to be changing just a little bit as well. Depending on how the drivers do tend to go around the track and which sectors are doing better than which. So we're going to have a look at who has a better lap time coming to the end of the track. We're still... Wheeler's invalidated his lap time. So maybe let's see if we can switch on to someone else. Okay, so we got James running now. He's currently second. Got Steve in fourth at the moment. I think we're familiar with all the PSN names we can see right there, so I think that should be fine for the time. So currently running sector 3, lap should be finished very shortly, and let's see who's going to be holding on to the pole position for the start of the Russian Grand Prix here today. Looks like Steve takes it with a 131.8 so far. James is going to be in second. Let's just wait on the table to come up so we'll have the official results for the start of the race. So there we go. We got Steven first with a Haas. James is going to be starting second. We got Chatty Duck in third. Twisted Punch in fourth. Rizzle Stick starting fifth. Lano Cap starting sixth. I got D Lawson in seventh. Trem in eighth. Darren ninth. Finger in 10th. Bitmap 11th. TMB is 12th. B Wheeler 13. Chris Panda in 14. Butters 15. And Sean in 16. No time from him. A few disqualifications. Not too bad for our one-shot qualifying here in Russia. I think we should be getting straight into the race now, which should be quite an interesting one to watch. Alright guys, here we go, the start of the Russian GP. Let's see who's going to get a better start here between James and Steve. Seems to be going head to head into turn 1. Steve might have a better go at it. James trying to come at him from the side. Let's switch on to position changes so we can see what's happening on track. No incidents so far into the race. Great start from James trying to get ahead. Did fall back into second. Chatty Duck running in third at the moment. That's a great competition. Chatty Duck trying to get past Steve right now, and James now in first. Oh, I see some carbon fiber flying. That's McLaren spun around down at the back. Not sure who that is at the moment. Might have been Trem or Sean, or maybe both of them, not sure as yet. We do have a safety car for that incident there. Let's see what happened down in the back, who has damage and who doesn't. I knew there was a McLaren involved. Trem seems to be fine, no damage on his car. Sean seems to be disconnected there at the moment. Doesn't seem to have any damage there either. Oh, that AlphaTauri has quite a bit of damage on him. That's Butters. Wheeler's car seems to be fine. Just trying to have a look at what's happening down in the back. Bitmap is fine. I think Darren's car is fine as well, or is he missing anything? No. Oh, I think he's missing a right end plate on his front wing. So a bit of damage on his car as well. So I'm not sure how many cars actually were involved in that. There is a car stuck off track. Oh, I think that's a safety car. My bad on that. I thought there was a car stuck on track for a second there, but that's fine. Alright, so safety car on lap 1, a minor incident down at the back. No drivers out of the race, otherwise I would just say it was a major incident, but we seem to be fine. We're going to have a number of pit stops happening due to that safety car on lap 1. And it is a 25% race, guys, so let's see what strategy these guys are about to use here, if they're going to go to the hards and go all the way to the end on those. Most cars are currently on the softs, I assume there, and a lot of cars I see switching to hards. Some of them seem to be switching to mediums. I think they're probably going to actually try and push those mediums all the way to the end as well. Try to get a lot more grip in the first half of their stint on it. Of course, with the hards, it's going to have a lot more grip going all the way down to the end of the race. But of course, strategy does play a big part here at Russia as well. So let's see what strategy is going to work best for which driver here. So James currently leads. You got Steven second, got Twisted Poncho third. I got Chatty Duck in fourth now. Landon Cap fifth. Lawson in sixth. Chris Panda seventh. Bitmap B8 now. B Wheeler is now in ninth. Butters in 10th. Sean in 11th. Finger 12th. Trem is now 13th. TMBA is 14th. Rizzle 6 down to 15th. And Darren in 16th. So quite a mix happening, and all because of a safety car on our lap 1 opening of the race. Let's get rid of that. I think we have everything we need to see there. Alright, so we're gonna be going under safety car for just a bit more until we can get back racing again, just making sure all that debris is cleared off the track. We should have a notification from race control pretty soon as to when we're going to get back racing, which I assume should be by the end of lap 3, possibly. Safety cars tend to go around for at least 3 laps, which is like a given time it kind of takes to clear the track of whatever debris is there, just to ensure we don't have any further incidents happening, as Formula 1 cars are pretty sensitive with the high speeds that they do travel in. So oh, that's Twisted Poncho losing it there, trying to get back on track, losing on the safety car. He's gonna lose some positions here now. He's all the way down into 11th now. So a bit of drama happening, and I think he lost part of his front wing, so he has to pit now. I think he already did a pit stop before. Let's have a look at that. Oh, actually, this is for a first pit stop for him. But he does have to change his front wing, which is going to cost him a bit of time right now. His teammate up in first place running at the moment. No damage to his car, running pretty well. Got Steven second. Chadwick running third now. I think it's going to be a little bit of a stiff competition out front with these top 3 cars. I think we should get a notification from by the end of lap 3, by the time we get to sector 3 at least, that we're gonna be get back to racing here pretty shortly. Alright, and there we have it. So safety car is going to be in on this lap, and we should be getting back to racing. Let's see how our first three corners go as we do get back, because just after our starting grid is quite a bit of a straight going down into the first few turns. So it's going to be a little bit high speed, and hopefully no more incidents on that occasion. So let's see what's going to happen. Russia is kind of a difficult track, especially with the few 90-degree turns that it does have, and some very tricky left-handed turns going all the way around. Alright, so we're about to get back racing as James goes a little wide of that exit there. Didn't take any damage, but lost some time to Steve, who's now trying to go side by side with him. Going through, and let's see who's gonna make it into the next turn. Does seem to be a bit of competition happening with these two out front. I think Steve is gonna have it inside line, might try to squeeze the Mercedes. Oh, they have a bit of contact. They're still going though. James still leads. Slydog is now up into second, goes up into first because of a contact between James and Steve at the moment there. Oh, and that's Steve losing a bit of front wing by hitting the rear end of James' car. Everyone's still going at it. He's going to have some reduced downforce, so that's going to be a lot of performance loss from him there right now. We got a Williams in that's Lano Cap coming around, going past him there right now. So he is now down into fifth, as Chris Panda gets past him as well in the Renault. So Steve losing positions rapidly here right now because of that damaged front wing. Does seem to be a little more damage than just an end plate. I think he might have lost a bit more of it. We got Bitmappy and Finger, I think, going at it down at the back here. Trem trying to get in on that as well, as Bitmappy is out in front of that battle at the moment. Also got Wheeler getting very close to Rizzler right now. That car's all over the place at the moment. Wheeler has fallen down just a bit. Slydog getting the fastest lap of the race so far. We got Steve in the pits repairing his damaged front wing at the moment. Let's see what's happening out front. I got Butters getting past Lawson, I think, here. That's the AlphaTauri guys racing each other apparently here. Oh, someone did cut that corner just a little bit. 3-second penalty goes to Trem for cutting a corner there as well. I think a little bit of pressure is starting to come up against most of these drivers right now. Twisted Punch getting upper position off of Darren in the racing point. Let's have a look, see what's happening back out front. I got Slydog leading. I got James just half a second behind Slydog at the moment. He's trying to catch up. No damage to either of the cars. So they're going to try and race each other as hard as they can for the moment, because both of them are currently running on softs. I don't think either of them have made a pit stop as yet, so they're going to have to make their one mandatory pit stop. We're going to have a look at who made pit stops in a bit. Well, let's see, we got Lanocan running third, Chris Panda running just under a second behind him in fourth. I got Lawson about 4.9 seconds behind that. I got Butters half a second just behind the Lawson as well. I got Darren trying to go side by side with Twisted Poncho right now. Not getting that done too well at the moment. He's going to have to just keep himself together and try that again, as he seems to have lost maybe a few tenths. Oh, I think he's just trying to catch up to that car as fast as he can, and that is Lawson with a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane there. So he's going to be falling down the order just a little bit. Not sure if he has any wing damage or not. Nanocap at a 3-second penalty. They're going to really want to be careful with the penalties. Trem getting very close to Finger right now in that racing point. He's trying to get past, putting his McLaren very and dangerously close to the racing point. Hopefully it does avoid any potential damage. I got James getting very close to Slydog still there as well. Just under half a second that gap currently is. And hopefully he's going to be able to reduce that into the next few laps to try and get a chance to go past, which he is actually doing. So let's have a look what's happening out front between James and Slydog right now. On board with James, Slydog seems to be driving pretty well. Car placement is going to be very important on his end at the moment here. Lanocam is trying to get into this battle as well, as he is watching on from behind. Hopefully, just hoping that these two probably take each other out and he can just take over the lead of the race, as Chatty Duck seems to maybe have locked up just a little bit out in front there. Not sure as yet. Trem still chasing down the finger at the moment. Trem currently in 8th, finger in 7th. So he's desperately fighting to get some more points for McLaren right now. His teammate, I think, that's Sean, down in 13th. Not sure if he's still disconnected or not. He is still disconnected. I'm assuming he's not able to get back on from the message I did see in the Discord. So not sure if his car's going to be in the points or not as yet. He might be out of it for this race, as we got someone in the pit. I think that's Butters in the pits there right now. Trem goes up into 6th now. Finger now up into 5th because double pit stop happened between Chris and I think Butters. Yes, and Darren is also in the pits there as well. So number of pit stops happening at the moment as we're on the halfway point through the Russian Grand Prix here. Chatty Duck still leads. James still holds 2nd. Lanocap still holds 3rd. And Bitmap currently in 4th. Finger now running 5th. Trem now running 6th. TMA running 7th. Twisted Poncho 8th. And we got Rizzle 6 and 9, Sean in 10. I think his car disconnected as throughout the race so far. I'm not sure if that's going to count, as we load a 3-second penalty there. Gap is increasing a bit out front between Chatty Duck and James. So Chatty Duck trying desperately to keep James out of that DRS range at the moment. Doesn't want him to have that advantage and try to get past right now. Lanocap though is in the DRS range of James's car. So James might be under a bit of pressure off of that Williams pretty soon. If Lanocam can break the gap down to less than half a second, he might stand a chance of getting potential P2 here for this race. Bitmap is just away behind, so I'm probably going to have to settle for 4 if the race does continue this way with that gap that he does have there. That Finger just half a second behind Bitmappy though, so I think Finger is trying to put some pressure on Bitmappy. Of course, he's a bit worried about Trem, who is still in the DRS range of his car behind. We've had a number of penalties handed out in this race so far, so we're going to see how that evens it out down at the end of the race in terms of results. As remember guys, Japan, we're starting on a reverse grid for the top 10 cars, so that's going to be quite interesting. I think someone did just gain a position. Sorry, I dropped my controller for a second there. I think that was TMBA gaining a position off of Twisted Poncho, who has Russell 6 for company behind him right now. Gap are starting to increase a little bit out front. Of course, let's see what happened with pit stops here. Who did take stops and who didn't? So we got our top 4 cars yet to do pit stops. I got Sean's car yet to do a pit stop as well. Of course, I think he's going to be disconnected the entire race. We're just going to go down for now. But top 4 cars still yet to pit. That's Chatty Duck, James, Lanocap, and Bitmappy. What's going to happen when they take their pit stop, I'm not sure yet. Of course, the gap between Lanocap and Bitmappy is about 11 seconds. So top 3 might be a little bit safe in terms of doing this pit stop and getting back their position as they are in the pits right now. Let's see what's happening out front. Chatty Duck is still yet to pit. He might be coming in on the next lap. We're not sure as yet. Trying, and let's see if his strategy is actually going to work on this one. Not sure if he's trying to overcut on them or not, because he might have been waiting for them to just pit behind him so he can pull that off. So Chatty Duck still leads, and let's see where he is currently going around. He's going to have to take a pit stop very soon here. I'm quite sure those tires are starting to go off on him. Of course, he's going to have a look at the gap that he has to the cars behind, which is currently 15.2 seconds. He's going to have to push like crazy, just increase the gap as much as he can before he does take his pit stop to ensure he can keep the lead of the race when he gets back out of the pits. Hopefully not any damage pushing too hard on this lap, so he won't have to change front wing. That will save him a lot of time if he doesn't have to do that. I got Bitmappy currently running second. Now the Finger is currently running third. I got Trem currently running fourth. TMBA running 5th now. Twisted Poncho 6th. Rizzle 6 is 7th. James is now in 8th. And Chris Panda now in 9th. Lando Cab in 10th. So a bit of mishap down at the back. Lando Cab lost an extra position there. Came out with behind James, but we had Chris Panda between them. So he's going to have to try and get rid of that obstacle at the moment. Hopefully he is able to. Twisted Poncho and Rizzle 6 getting to it out front. Fighting at the moment there as well. I got Chris Panda getting up into 8th now. James now down to 9th. Lando Cab in 10th. Got Bitmappy now into the pits. See where he's going to be coming out. So a bit of a close gap between I got Twisted Poncho, Chris Panda, Rizzle 6 and James and Lando Cab as well. All fighting it out. They're going to be fighting to get back out in front. So Chatty Duck yet to make a stop. Has 18.6 seconds off of Finger there now where the gap is. I think he's trying to build a gap as much as he can to get into the bits and get out without losing the lead of the race there. And I gotta tell you, it does seem like it might actually end up working for him with 19 seconds on that gap between himself and Fingers there now. And great battle going on in the back here between, we got Twisted Poncho and Chris Panda getting very close together at the moment. Of course, they have a bit of pressure with cars coming just behind them as well. I think Chris is getting very close to Twisted Poncho, probably going to try and go side by side with him through the turn. Nope, has to just hold it for now. So, okay, Chris got into 5th, Twisted Poncho down into 6th now. They did switch position through that turn at the moment. The Lando Cab getting a position up on James there. Out front gap is still 19 plus seconds, now 20 plus seconds between Chatty Duck and the Finger. Chatty Duck I think has more than enough time to get into the pits and get out back in front of the Finger and still hold the lead of the race. So he's doing pretty well out front. His strategy is working excellently for him, as I have Rizzle 6 going past Twisted Poncho here now. So Rizzle now up into 6, Twisted down to 7, Lando Cab down into 8, James into 9. James is getting past Lando Cab. They keep switching positions. They're going side by side at the moment. Not sure who's going to come out. We got Lando Cab on the inside line going around the turn at the moment. I think he might get a better exit, which he does. James has to sell for... no, he's not selling for a 9th. They're actually still going at it. I think they might have had a bit of contact. I think James was double thinking whether to stay behind or pull out in and come aside to get past him. Gap is a very difficult one for him to get right now with the way Lando Cab is placing his car, but doing pretty well at it. Got Chris getting side by side with TMBA getting past him up into P4 there right now. So excellent move on him. Chatty Duck still 21 seconds now ahead. James trying to fight it out. Oh, and that's James into the wall. That might trigger a VST. Not. Oh no, I think he should be fine. He just lost his front wing. He's still going. He's down into 10th now. Rizzle 6 moving up another position off of TMBA here now. I think they're just switching back. They're probably still fighting it out as they were before on lap 12 right now. Just a lap and a half more to go of racing here. And I'm not sure if Chatty Duck took his pit stop as yet. Let's just have a look at that. No, he has not taken that one mandatory pit stop as yet for this race. He's going to have to do on lap 12, I assume. See what's happening out front here. How are his tires? Those tires actually look pretty fine. Actually, if he took a pit stop, it's just not showing on screen, but it's just showing me that he didn't take a pit stop as yet. He's on lap 12 right now, which I assume he's going to be taking his pit stop on the very last lap of the race, which is the only chance he actually really has. Hopefully he doesn't forget to miss that pit lane entry right now. Getting back down to our battles down at the bottom here. I think our gaps are starting to increase just a little bit now. Nanocap is just a half a second behind Steve's though. Steve's still just under a second behind TMBA, which is not under a second behind Rizzle's there as well. And there we go. Chatty Duck is into the pits on lap 12 of 13 into the Russian GP here. So he's taking his pit stop and he should be making it out back in time. As you can see, Fingers car on the map coming around the 90-degree turns there. One more turn for him to go. And I think Chatty's already exiting the pit lane there, as it does seem his car is moving. Oh, we got Steve and TMB fighting it out still here. Oh, does seem like he lost a few positions. So that did cost him a bit. So I guess he needed a few more seconds at least. He is now out and into fourth. Not a lot of time to make up time here right now. Now Finger is running in fourth. We got Trem under a second behind him. Got Chris Panda in third. Chad Duck now running fourth. Got Steven sixth. Lano Cap running, trying to fight it out with TMBA. I think here, yes he is. They have a bit of minor contact going on. TMBA almost losing it, trying to keep that car stable as much as he can going through. So a bit of a tussle on the final lap of the race here. We got Lawson still about half a second behind James. Might be trying to go past him using his overtake. He is going side by side, pushing it into that turn. Might have cut the corner a bit. Probably got a warning for that. As you go on board with Steve right now, is chasing down Rizzlesticks, trying to get P5. Oh, Rizzle goes a little bit wide on that turn there. Mess that up a little bit, so his teammate goes past him. So Rizzle is up into fifth, Steve Young into sixth now. House driver switching positions, not sure if that was intentional or not. We got some Finger finishing first, Chris Panda finishes second. Oh, Chatty Duck finishes in third because Trem probably got a penalty. Who finishes in fourth now? I got Rizzle sixth and his teammate coming around. Oh, Steve goes up into fourth, Trem down to fifth, Lano Cav in sixth, Rizzle in seventh. TMBA is probably coming in for 8th, which he does. Lawson might be coming in for 9th. And he does. You see, we got James coming in for 10th. Oh, goes up into 8th. Bitmap, he gets 9th. TMBA gets 10th. Lawson gets 11th. Penalties coming in play now. Darren coming around for 12th. And Butters disqualified from the race, probably for too many penalties, I would assume. I guess that's the end of the Russian Grand Prix here today. We'll be heading straight into the Japanese Grand Prix just after this, as the guys do set the grid up. Driver of the day goes to Chris Panda. Not a bad drive from him today. We're going to have a look at the result before we do exit off this cream. Okay, so there we go. Racing points. The Finger takes pole position for the race. Chris Panda finishes in second. Chatty Duck on the third spot for a podium. In Red Bull, P3. Steve is P4. Trem P5. Lano Camp P6. Rezdal 7. James 8. Bitmap goes 9. TMA that's 10th. So top 10 will be starting reverse grid for Japan. We got Lawson in 11, Wheeler is 12, Twisted Puncher 13, Darren 14, Sean 15, Butters is 16, disqualified, I think maybe for too many penalties. So start of the Japanese Grand Prix, we're gonna have, let's see, reverse grid should be TMBA in P1, Bitmap is second, James is third, Rizzle 4th, Lano Camp 5th, Trem 6th, Steve 7, Chatty Duck 8, Chris Panda 9, the Finger gonna be 10th, and Lawson 11, Wheeler 12, and it goes down that way. And that should be the start of the Japanese Grand Prix. We're just going to give the guys maybe about 3 to 4 minutes or 3 to 5 minutes to set their custom grid up for the start of the next race, and then we should be getting started with that. Alright guys, so welcome along to our second race for Tier 1 with Slydog Racing League, sponsored by Bespoke. So this is going to be the Japanese Grand Prix here now. We're doing a reverse grid for our top 10 starts, so no qualifying. We're getting straight into the race as the cars look ready to go on the track there on the right hand side. All bumpy and what sort. So we're going to get started with that here very shortly as the drivers are selecting their race strategy setup, and we're going to get going. And don't forget to join us, guys, for just after this race. We're going to be starting another stream in about 10 minutes after for the start of Slydog Racing League Tier 2. And here we go, the start of the Japanese Grand Prix for Tier 1 for SDR. Let's see how they're going to go, switching that to position change so we can have a look at the start. TMA started for, let's see how turn 1 is going to go. It's going to be a bit dangerous through here. As we don't already have a Haas getting off track just a little bit there. And that was Rizzo. A bit of minor chaos at the start of this race so far. Slydog getting very close behind someone there right now. I think Twisted Poncho trying to get around. Gaps are all pretty close together at the moment going. These are some pretty fast corners. They're only track shaped like the figure 8, and we got Twisted Poncho out of the race. That might trigger a VSC or a safety car. We're not sure as yet. That car might be stuck on track, and there we go. We have a safety car once again on lap 1 of the start here for the race. I think was either Bitmappy or someone. That's a Red Bull turnaround. He's getting back on track right now. Definitely gonna have to go into the pits as he seems to have quite a bit of damage on that front wing. So as it stands, let's see, we're on the safety car. So TMBA leads the race still. James in second now. Trem now in third. Steven Ford, Lawson 5th, Chris 6th, Landon Cap 7, Finger 8, Rizzle 6, 9, Chatty Duck in 10, B Wheeler 11, Darren 12, Borders 13, Sean 14, Bitmappy 15, and Twisted Poncho out of the race. Not sure how that incident was caused. Did trigger a safety car though. So we're going to be going under this until the end of lap 3 and then get back racing just after that. So we're going to have quite a few pit stops happening out there on the track right now. Few cars might have gotten a bit of damage going through the first few turns at the start of the Japanese Grand Prix here. It is quite a difficult track if you do think about it starting off at first. Not as easy as you would expect. I think we're now following the safety car. There it is. On board with TMBA 59. Trem running second. We're going to stick following with the guys in front for the moment here. That Lawson running third there in this AlphaTauri. So a bit of a scrap at the start. Caused a few incidents, so that's predicted race stop strategy. Either soft to medium or soft to hards. The soft to hards might be a better strategy if you're going to really be pushing on the tires. Because if you do a soft and medium strategy here with the 13 laps, you're really going to have to be careful about how much pressure you actually put on these tires and how fast they're going to wear away from you. So Chatty Dunk now up into 7th. He won the last race. So let's see, it does look a bit cloudy. I wonder if we're going to get any rain before the end of the session. It is possible that the rain can come down pretty fast. I'm not quite sure if we're having that or not. It probably just is a cloudy day here in Japan, so we're going to see how this goes. It's going to be interesting to see how Tier 2 does for SDR when we get to them on the next stream just after this race. Which should be pretty shorty because 13 laps are going to go by pretty fast because we're going to just be left with about 10 laps of racing. By the time we get back to the actual racing here when that safety car goes in, because we're only on lap 2 right now going through. I think they're about heading into sector 3 there now, so we still got about a lap more under the safety car until all that debris from Twisted Poncho's car is cleared off the track just to make the track safe again for racing. I think that's Trem losing a position there to D. Lawson. He might have made a mistake. Oh no, he's in the pits. I think he made a mistake or something. He probably is changing front wings, I'm not sure. I mean, I don't want to switch away for the moment. But since he's down at the bottom, let's see what's happening with Trem there. If he's changing his front wing, he might have made a mistake trying to warm his tires up, or maybe he's serving a he's serving a drive-through penalty, and he's going to be all the way down at the back. Doesn't have any damage. He was just serving a drive-through penalty, which he acquired on the start of this race for doing something he shouldn't have. Not sure what that was as yet. And Rizzle 6 with a 5-second penalty for ignoring the yellow flags. I think he was trying to drive too fast and not keeping under his delta. The game does tend to give you a penalty for doing that now. So TMBA and Lano Cab in their original positions they started. Everyone else changing position. Rizzle 6 lost a position there. Bitmappy lost 12 positions. Lost the most so far. I got D lost and gained the most positions in this race so far. Running in second now. He was about in 11th when he started this race. And I think it's going to be quite an interesting session because I think I see some drizzle starting to come. So we're going to have a wet race here at Japan, which is always a fun one to watch. So this rain is going to mean cars are going to have to go on intermediate tires pretty soon because the rain seems to be coming down pretty fast. This is about to get a little bit more exciting for us here. And let's see how well these drivers fare in a wet track. As we've spoken about it before on previous streams, a lot of drivers tend to be very good on dry tracks, but not as good on a wet track. So it's going to be quite interesting as the track temperature is going to start to drop. And we're going to have reduced grip, reduced traction on these cars. So it's going to be much more difficult slowing these cars down. A safety car is going to be in on this lap. Oh, and that was TMBA getting too close to that wall, almost losing an end plate on his front wing, which is something you really don't want to do right now. As we just talked about it, track temperature is going to drop. Traction is not going to be what it was at the start of the race, so they're going to want to be a bit careful about this as we're about to get back racing here now. And let's see how turn 1 goes for this instant, because we got lost right up to the rear of TMBA's car. And he's already trying to go by before he even go back to the line. And they're off. Let's see what's going to happen. I think he's already going side by side with TMA, going past, taking away the lead of the race. So that's Lawson into first. Lano Cab now gets second. TMBA is now down into third. The finger is putting him under pressure, trying to get up to P3 there as well. Oh, and that's someone off. That's Lawson's car. He's lost it somehow. Not sure if him and Lano Cab were finding it out or if he just lost traction on the rear and lost it there. Might have been what happened. Chatty Duck already up into fourth right now. So now it's Lano Cab leading the race. TMA running second. The finger in third. We got Chatty Duck. Seems to be a bit disconnected, running in fourth. Hopefully he gets back on. Oh, we got the finger getting past TMBA here now. Oh, and going wide. Track temperature is dropping significantly. It's going to affect a lot of cars at the moment, which you're going to see a lot of different things we usually wouldn't here. A lot of drivers who usually wouldn't make such mistakes are now going to be making them. So Chatty Duck now up into P3, still disconnected. Not sure what's happening with him there. B Wheeler now fourth. Steve running fifth now, just behind Wheeler, trying to get past. Chatty Duck lost a position there because his car still disconnected. So Wheeler gets to drive through. Stevie drives through as well. James down behind him is going to be passing him pretty soon there as well. Not sure if he's going to be able to get back on. And Chris running 7th. We got Sean in 8th. Let's see if he's still disconnected. And he's still disconnected in this session as well. The finger running 9th now. Trying to get past Sean's car. I got Wheeler getting back up into 2nd. TMA now up in 3rd. I got Lano Cab in the pits. I think he might be switching. They might be switching to the intermediate tires because the rain is coming down quite quickly and is affecting performance. Everyone seems to be pitting right now. Pit lane is going to be crazy busy. Hopefully cars don't get held up as they are switching on to intermediate tires right now. Lawson seems to have switched. Did he switch to intermediate? I'm not sure. James is it? Okay, I think everyone is switching. A few cars might be serving penalties here. We got Steve coming back out to the pits in P1. Darren getting past him there now. So I think the two of them are going to be fighting it out there. It's going to be a little less grip with these tires. It's not going to be as easy as it is driving on a drive track. Now that the rain is coming down quite heavily, these tires should last until the end of the race, hopefully for these guys. as if the rain does come down way too much, we might need wets, but I don't think we're going to be able to get to that situation by the end of the race. Hopefully not, for the sakes of the drivers here. So we got Lano Cap just under half a second behind Darren running now. So Steve running as far as Darren running second. Lano Cap running just behind Darren in third. B Wheeler just behind in, well, he's in fifth. Trem getting past him. Trem up to there. Let's see what's happening here at the moment. A few cars disconnected. We got some front wing action getting off. Someone losing front wing. Not sure if that was TMBA or not. A few cars disconnected in this session. So quite an interesting race for Japan. Safety car on lap 1. Didn't have the situation where we did have to switch to intermediate tires before we even got into half of this race. So Steve getting a good lead out front from Darren now, 3.5 seconds. He seems to be driving pretty well in the wet. Darren in second, Lano Cap running half a second behind him in third, Trem running fourth, B Wheeler running fifth, Finger running sixth, Chatty Dog 7, Sean 8, Lawson 9, Chris is in 10th, and we got TMA in 11th, Bitmappy 12, James is now 13, getting past, Rizzle getting past James now 13, James is now 14, Butters is 15, I think someone is in the pits, TMA went into the pits there, not sure why, he might be going back to dry tires here, I'm not sure, or is he going on to full wets? He seems to be going on. Oh no, he's just doing another set of mediums. I think he might be changing his front wing. Yes, he is. He might have had some damage there. I was wondering if he was gonna go on to full wet. I don't think it's that wet. Oh, it's getting pretty wet, but I don't think it's wet for full wet tires as yet. Hopefully these tires can last these guys to the end of the race. It depends how fast this rain is gonna come down on them, though. I'm not sure. Because it seems to be coming down pretty fast here. We got Trem getting very close to Darren, trying to catch up. Let's see how well Trem drives in the wet right now. It is going to get quite difficult to see the car in front of you. That ERS recharging light is mostly what you're going to see if it does start to get a lot more heavy with the rain here. They're going to want to be a little more careful with the acceleration through most of these turns, as the cars are not going to fare too well with them. Of course, these drivers do have the experience of driving on wet track, so they should be knowing what they're doing here. Trem trying to look for a gap to go on Darren here right now in P3. You want to be careful, as it is now a little bit different on a wet track. He's going to have to be very careful about how he approaches this and tries to make sure he gets a good pass and not outbrake himself, because it's going to be so much harder slowing that car down with the conditions that we're currently driving, which is on board with Trem right now. We're seeing what's going on. It is a little more difficult to see what's going on track, especially with your braking points. You're going to have to know them a little bit better into the wets. Seems to be gaining some time off of Darren going through turn 1. Let's see if he's going to be able to get alongside him to go past. This will get him onto the podium if he can get P3 away from Darren right now, because I don't think anyone else is going to be doing any more pit stops here. Unless they take damage to their car, that's the only way anyone is going into the pits. The rain is coming down significantly, which is going to affect a lot of performance. Oh, that was a little bit too dangerous to try. I don't know if he got any damage off of that. We're trying to have a look right now. I think he just... No, he seems to be good. Didn't lose any portion of his front wing. Still going. Trying to get back traction going here now. Running at 8th. Chatty Duck's car is going to get patched out. Oh, Chatty Duck is back online again. No, sorry, that's not Chatty. That's Bitmappy. Oh, Chatty Duck's car is still disconnected. Not sure what's happened to him. Might be having some internet issues. We're not sure. We got Rizzle running just behind Bitmappy here. Let's see if he's going to be able to get by. And he's trying to come by here right now. So we're at the halfway point of the race on laps 8 right now running. Steve with the fastest lap of the race so far. Now Chris Panda takes away the fastest lap. And this is running on inters. Still following along with Rizzle and Bitmappy. They're going a bit side by side. Rizzle just got past. Bitmappy lost a bit of time from him now. I got Lawson coming down behind Bitmappy. Let's see if he can actually catch him now. I think that was Trem's car going past Chatty Duck's car there. So half a second the gap stands. Steve leading out front 5.6 seconds as has Landcab in second. Darren another 5 seconds behind in third. Wheeler just under a second though behind Darren in fourth. Still trying to catch up to him to try and get a go there. Lawson is trying to catch up to Bitmappy, who's currently in 11th. If he does get that position up, he might be trying to get that car into the points here for top 10. Oh, and we got James and Borders going on to full wets to see if the track is actually wet enough for that. Not sure if it is at the moment. It is possible it is wet enough for that, but honestly, it does seem like these Inters still have a decent amount of traction and should be able to make it to the end of the race. Oh, we got Lawson going side by side with Bitmappy now. Let's see if he's going to be able to get that done. And he does pull ahead. So that's Lawson into 11. Bitmappy now down into 12th. Let's see what's happening down the back with James on these wet tires here right now. I want to see how much grip he actually has, if it's actually wet enough out there. Don't seem to be actually be going pretty well on them. Not bad for the moment. Just staying on board with him for a bit to see what's happening here. I think he's looking for portions of the track with a little more water. He might need the track to get a little bit more wet for these tires to work well enough for him. But at the moment they do seem to be working pretty well. Oh no, and there he goes, losing it a bit. He might have put a bit too much throttle into that turn. Hopefully he doesn't have any damage. And Butters is out of the race. Not sure where on the track he's gone off. Might be in sector 1 there. I don't think we'll be able to have a look at his car as yet. I don't think it was right conditions for the wet tires as yet. It does seem to be pretty decent for intermediate tires right now. Given another maybe 10 laps of raining, then maybe it will get wet enough for the wet tires. I don't think it was wet enough as yet. But these tires seem to be struggling a bit as well, as it's not as easy to get around the turns as you would expect looking on with Russell's car here right now. Let's get out of front, see what's happening with the finger, just half a second behind Wheeler, and then Chris Panda behind him as well, under a second. Got Chatty Duck's car still disconnected here, Bitmappy getting by him. It does seem to be a bit half and half between the Inters and the wets right now. Guys, the finger getting very close to B Wheeler, who's currently running in third. Everyone currently on wets except for James, running on lap 10 right now. We will be going to the end of the race on current tires as we are. I highly doubt anyone else is going to be switching tires. James seems to be, I'm not sure if he's losing time there right now. Oh, and that's the racing point of the finger, losing a portion of his front wing, going into the back of that Renault, and he has one other Renault coming behind him. Oh, I think someone else has lost. Chris Pandem lost a bit of his front wing, hitting the back of the finger's car. So a double incident. It is so much more difficult to brake and have these cars hold back on the braking just to avoid damage. So you gotta be careful how close you are to a car. I'm assuming they might be trying to go to the end on those broken front wings. Not sure how severe the damage is, but I don't think they're going to want to take a chance of pitting right now. Bit Mappy getting down one position. Sean getting up one position there. Let's see what's happening down in the back. Sean's car still is disconnected though. I got Chris getting very close, trying to go side by side with the finger. He might have to hold it back through these few turns into sector 1 on lap 11 at the moment. Quite surprisingly, no major incidents during the wet conditions on the race. Steve still leads 9.4 seconds now is the lead he has over Lanocam, who's running a second. B. Wheeler now running a third. Quite a bit of a gap. Of course, the finger is about 3.2 seconds behind him. And he does have the Chris Panda to worry about, under a second behind him. Of course, there's going to be no DRS because of wet conditions on track. Chris still trying to chase down the finger right now. Of course, that damaged front wing is going to prove to be a bit difficult for him. Of course, with Chris, the finger, I think, having his damaged front wing as well, it's going to be on an even playing field for the both of them. Whoever is going to be better, or whoever has more damages, is going to be at a disadvantage here. They seem to be driving pretty well with the damaged front wing, as Darren comes a little bit wide off of that turns exit there. Going into lap 12 here right now. Just about 2 laps of racing left. Under 2 laps of racing. Not as easy to overtake in a wet, unless the car in front of you does make a mistake. I think Finger went a little bit wide on that turn for a second there. The rain seems to be coming down a lot more now. It would be adequate for wet tires maybe pretty soon, but we only have just about a lap and a half of racing to go, so I think everyone will be pushing to get to the end of the race on these tires. And try to finish in the position that they are, or maybe try to push it for another position up to get one more points in this race. Gaps are pretty significant up front, so I don't think anything else is going to change there for them. We do have a few cars disconnected in the race, which I assume when we counted. Of course, that's going to be adjusted when the final results are posted on the league Discord. So we're just going to follow along for now. We'll see what's happening with Chris and Darren here. So Chris seems to be in a bit of a pickle. He has... Oh, and he's trying to go past. He had one racing point in front, one behind, and he's gone past. As the finger now, he's now up into P4. As the finger now down into P5. Has his teammate Darren coming behind him. Not sure if he's going to be able to get past. Stevie, the fastest lap so far, 140.7 under wet conditions. That's his teammate Darren coming behind. Let's see how this is going to go for him. Going a bit wide. Chris seems to get a better exit off of that turn every time, so he doesn't be gaining the time. We got Darren getting very close to his teammate here right now. Racing Point drivers. Both of them have damaged front wings. They're still going. Not sure if they're going to try and race each other. Hopefully not taking each other out. They're both in there having significant points in this race so far with the positions they have if they do finish here, as we enter into the final lap of the Japanese Grand Prix here under wet conditions with intermediate tires. A pretty exciting race. A few minor incidents after the rain started to come down, and a little bit of a major incident at the start of the race causing a safety car. Getting on out in front, we got Steve leading. Currently running in sector 2. Driving in that house pretty well, I would say. Lionel Cabin is Williams coming around in second right now. And then Wheeler in third. A pretty good gap they all have. Following the Darren in P6. Just behind his teammate chasing him down. He's going to want to be careful how he approaches this here. There's not a lot of time left in this race to try and fight it for position up ahead of your teammate, as the finger is sliding around a bit, losing a bit of rear traction getting off that turn. As we have Steve coming around and going across the line for P1. I got Lano Cap coming around now. He should be getting P2. Still keeping an eye on the gap between the two racing points at the moment. That's TP1 Nanocap takes P2. And let's see, B Wheeler should be coming around for P3. Has his teammate coming around behind him for P4. So he takes the third podium position. Has a 5-second unserved penalty. Of course, Chris Pan is 5.7 seconds behind, so will stay in fourth. Finger comes across in fifth. Darren comes across sixth. You got Rizzle 6 coming across for seventh. Trem coming across for 8th. Trem goes 7th. Rizzle 6 goes 8th. Bitmappy goes 9th. Let's see if he's actually going to get that 9th or not. Of course, any card disconnected will be ignored on the official results. So Bitmappy is 9th. Currently, Sean is 10th. D. Lawson is 11th. Chadida goes up to 11th. D. Lawson goes down to 12th. TMBA goes to 13th, I would assume here. And then James should be 14th. I think that's going to be the results there for the Japanese Grand Prix here today for SDR. So quite an interesting race. We're going to be ending this stream in about 2 minutes and getting started with the next stream about 5 minutes after. The B-Wheeler gets driver of the day. Not a bad job from him, especially under these conditions here. Yeah, so we're going to be starting the next stream in about 5 to 7 minutes. Getting straight into Slydog's Racing League Tier 2 for Russia and Japan. Sponsored by Grace Bespoke. So look forward to that. Thank you guys for joining us for this stream. Let's just wait on the results to come up. Of course, this is not officially official as yet. We still have to have the source, have to look at incidents reported after the race and sort that through. So Haas takes pole. Let's see how it stacked up. So I know it was Steve taking pole position for the race. Also got the fastest lap of the race. So good job on him for that. 1 second better than Lanocap's time. So Lanocap coming in second, B-Wheeler in third, Chris Panda fourth, we got a finger in fifth, Darren 6, Trem 7, Rosix 8, Bitmap in 9, Sean in 10, Chatty Duck in 11, Lawson 12, TMBA is 13, James 14, Butters 15, Twisted Poncho 16, and that is it for the Japanese Grand Prix here. So that was 2 exciting races for Slydog Racing League Tier 1. And we're going to get straight into Tier 2 just after we end off this stream. And remember, once again, we'll be doing it again next week. I think we got 2 more weeks of racing before we end off the season here. I'm not sure as yet. I got to do check on that. So thank you guys again for joining us for this one. See you guys in the next stream.